You might have already come across callbacks in Roblox Studio, either in using functions, remote or bindable, or trying to make a game pass or any Robux thing. So I'm going to show you how callbacks work, how to use them, and ultimately what they can't be used for. So in the previous video I talked about why remote functions can be used for actual two-way communications. That's because remote functions use callbacks and not events. So I'm going to show how callbacks works using remote functions. As you can see, it has no data transfer if you call the function on the remote event. Unlike when you're using a remote event, you can send data in the function like this. In here, you can send data if this was a remote event, but since we're using a remote function, that's not possible. You can't send any data with the function that is associated with the callback. Only the callback can send data back to the client in this case. Oh, and here we're not using connect like in an on-server event in a remote event. We're using on-server invoke, and we're using equals function instead of connect function. And as you can see, there's nothing in here. If there were something in here, and we would be using that in here, then it would throw an error. So in this demonstration, the client is going to send the request to the server, and the server is going to send it back using the callback. And the client will print it out. And when you're calling invoke server, then use a variable. If you're not going to use a variable, then don't even use a remote function. Use a remote event. I honestly don't know why you would use a remote function if you're not going to have any data coming back. Might even be a bit risky. But in remote functions, the thing is that it's dangerous to invoke the client for a lot of reasons. For example, if the client disconnects while it's being invoked, the server will throw an error. If the client throws an error, the server will also throw an error. And the client has to be properly configured. If it's not, then the server will hang forever because the client will never return anything. So let's test it out how the remote functions callback works in action. As you can see, it says invocation response text in here from the remote comm that sent the request to the server, and then it came back because it was a remote functions callback. So that was pretty much it for this video. Callbacks have other instances associated with them. For example, Marketplace server has process by site. And if you're gonna do anything that's Robux related, like game passes and things, then you must set up that callback. You can view the developer documentation for that, or you can just go watch me how to make a two-way communication system if you're interested in that. So like the video if you found it helpful, subscribe for more Roblox Studio tutorials, and goodbye!